The Oregon Ducks moved up one spot in the college football playoff rankings. Could they get a bye in the playoffs after championship weekend? Also, the Ducks recruiting class is on fire, and I just finally got George Wrighster off the phone long enough to do this podcast. Man, his phone just be blowing up, talking to people, getting the scoops here and there, working it. As always, I'm Aaron Fentress of the Oregonian and OregonLive. He is George Wrighster of the Unafraid Show and the CW. George, you kind of like that phone's just killing you, man. What's up? People wait, bill collectors or what?
No, man.
You got the bill collectors coming?
Hey, did you know what is funny is that sometimes people, sometimes people are very connected, like the Adam Schefters and the, Sham Sharania and stuff like that. People don't understand how much information that they know that they can't say, right? And sometimes people who do things like me and you do, or especially like me with the, that I do the show on YouTube and all of this stuff, like, a lot of times when I say things, it's because I know things and not because that I can't say. I have to say it a different way or kind of insinuate it away. And I think and sometimes people are like, oh man, that guy's not connected.
You don't know what you're talking about. And you got someone on the phone who literally works for the team. Yeah. Dude, there was one time I put out something about Mariota. And people were trashing me. And I was literally on the phone with his mom.
Like, you don't know.
And she's like, don't out me. And I'm like, I would never do that. But people were just killing me on Twitter. And I'm literally. I think we were
for me,
texting,
the relationships, like, I'm not a newsbreaker, right?
Right.
Like, if I were Adam Schefter or something like that, like, that's a different story, right? But I'm not a newsbreaker. So
you're an information gatherer.
Yes. So the relationships matter more
than the story. Yep.
Than the story. So like, I need to, like, it's more important to me to be able to text Dan Lanning and be like, yo, is this true? Or like, what's up with this? And he give me a real story and me and Tosh, or me and, Kenny Dillingham, or Dabo, or whoever else that I've been able to develop relationship with, or Brett Bielema, or whoever like that having those relationships and those things mattering, and them knowing that I'm not going to break your trust, that means more to me in the access, because in the off season, I'm gonna be like, hey, yo, I need to get you on the interview schedule for the channel. Like, is that cool? Yeah, cool. No problem. And then instead of trying to go through their SIDs and then them kind of giving you the run around, the coach puts me on a group chat with the SID, is like, get this on the schedule ASAP. So right. Guess what happens? It gets on the schedule ASAP.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. There's been times where I'm talking to someone and I know it's off the record, and they're telling me some of the, like, it's like, oh, can I get a little bit on the record? a little bit of that, a little taste of that, and you just have to talk around it. But at the very least, you then know what isn't true.
Yes,
and
correct.
So you're not putting out stuff that you know isn't true, and you can kind of talk around it without, quote unquote, breaking something and burning a source or what have you. Yeah,
and you're right about that. Knowing what isn't true is just as important as knowing what is true.
Exactly. 100%. All right. Let's see. First topic. Ducks move up.
Like, for instance, hold up. Like for instance, at a month and a half ago, I think I tweeted out, I said, actually it was about a month ago, I said, there is a 0% chance that Jed Fish is the next coach of UCLA. People were like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. I was like, no, I said there's a 0% chance. I was like, granted, we're still 4 weeks from the end of the season, or yeah, that was a gist of the tweet. And so things could change, but I would be willing to bet.
Right.
Because he just wasn't going to leave to go to UCLA. Like, that was never an option. He didn't even want to leave, period. Now, granted, he wasn't at the top of Florida's list either, but he might not have even taken that job. Like, he's happy in Washington. He wants to be stable.
Right. That's good. I'm glad for Washington, because I'm going to tell you right now, had he left, Duck fans were waiting. They were waiting because of all the trash talk UW did with the stepping stone. You've seen that stepping stone, right? Our game, right? Because of Taggart and Mario. Oh my God, they lost Kalen and then lost Fish back to back like that. UW would have to bury that. They have to bury that first of all, and Duck fans would be just, oh, we're whooping you, and you can't keep a coach. Like UW might have had to go back to the Pac-12 after that.
Man.
No, I got nothing but respect for the Husky program. It's a great program. But yeah, their fan base would have been, woo. Anyway, all right. First topic actually is Stein to Kentucky. Woo, that's a tough job. And Tosh to Cal. Also, nope, not okay. Break it down for me. And Tosh to Cal. What does this mean for the Ducks? Clearly, look, Oregon's a big enough program where it's going to attract someone else good, just like when they got Stein to replace Dillingham. They'll get someone good to replace both those guys, and maybe someone in-house too as well. So it's not going to hurt them long term, but it speaks well to the program and what Lanning's doing, and that guys are coming in, being a DC or OC for a few years, and then boom, they're getting big-time power for a job. So you say, though, Kentucky, not a tough job.
No.
Oh. Wait, sorry. I thought you disagreed.
Okay, so the first thing is
it is home for him, but
I believe that you're 100% right. Oregon is fine. They're going to be in a good spot, good situation, because coaches are already kicking their door down to get jobs.
Right.
There is a coach who's well thought of, who if Samples leaves, and he's got a good job right now, he's like, hey man, I want in over there. Holla at your boy. Put in a word for me. And it's like, yo, okay, whatever. And it is wild, bro. It is wild. Like just the whole, like way that this works. And and Dan has shown that he'll do a good job of hiring coaches. Correct. And that's honestly the most, outside of the leadership and the direction, culture of the program, hiring coaches is the next most important thing. And then recruiting, because your coaches have to recruit. So that's the lifeblood of your program. And Dan's doing a good job at that. So I'm not worried about any of them leaving, because the kids are more dedicated to the program than they are a coach.
Agreed. Here's why I say Kentucky is tough. Obviously, that's home for him and everything, but you're coming in the middle of a conference that's just stacked. So, but at the same time, they're probably not going to expect him to win the SEC. But if he can just be 8-4, 9-3 somewhere in there, a couple of years here and there, it could be a stepping stone to a better program. Or if he just wants to call Kentucky home for a long time, he could, because obviously he has ties there. But it's still a tough place to win in that conference.
Yep.
Yeah. His phone's blowing up again. It's a cable company wants their money.
So I like Will Stein to Kentucky for multiple reasons. It is Kentucky looks like a pitiful job, right? It looks like a poverty program. However, the people of Kentucky, they know how to get behind a winner. They know how to support like diehard, because they do that with the basketball team. They just haven't had the opportunity to do that with the football team. And I believe that Will Stein can do at Kentucky what Lane Kiffin did at Ole Miss.
Kiffin did at Ole Miss. Yeah, I knew you were going there. Okay.
And then people would say, oh, well, then he'll leave and take the Alabama job when it comes open, or LSU when it comes open. Are you sure about that? Because remember, he spent time with Dan Lanning, who has been the grass is not greener on the other side guy. And as much as, he's his own man, Dan is still one of his mentors. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So you learn things from your mentors. And this is why he didn't take a group of 6 job. This is why he waited until he had an opportunity to be, because now he's at a place that he doesn't have to leave unless he wants to. Because the people of Kentucky, the way that they resource the basketball program, the way that they even handle Tubby Smith and Calipari and all of these other coaches, they will pay you. They will get money to get recruits. They are diehard people there in Lexington. Right. If you give them something to be diehard about, they will fill up the stadium. They will pay you well. They will give you money to get recruits. Look at how much that they were paying Stoops to lose. They will give you what you need. And I believe that that's why if Will Stein finds a way to win football games, like I think that Ole Miss is the initial ceiling, right? That you can actually flip the direction of a program like Kurt Cignetti has at Indiana. If Kurt Cignetti, after Fernando Mendoza leaves, if he's able to put together another 10-win season next year, Indiana's trajectory has completely changed.
Right.
And if Will can, in 4 years, 5 years, get to a college football playoff in 5 years or 6 years, bro, that changes everything. And no, they're not going to get there every single year, but if he can get there, after 4 or 5 years and then once every third year, but still be having a floor of 9 wins, bro, he'll be a legend.
100%. We'll see if he can pull that off, man. That conference is just.
And his mama is a diehard fan. She said she be over there screaming "Go Cats" sometimes when she's watching the Ducks. So imagine being able to make your whole this is a Kenny Dillingham situation where people keep trying to say, "Oh, he's gonna leave ASU." What are you talking about, bro? He lives across the street. He lives next door to his sister. Their kids play together every day. His parents live 2 doors down. His other sister's house butts up against him on the other side of the street. And you think that dude is just going to walk out the door on that? Don't work like that.
I hear you.
You have to force him to walk out the door.
Well, $12 million a year could do that. We'll see.
No.
We'll see.
If you could offer Kenny LSU could have offered him $12 million a year now, and he's making like 8 right now. He would have stayed at ASU. I promise you.
Okay, I believe you. All right, moving on to the rankings. Ducks
at least right now. Ask me five years from now.
I know.
If they're not resourcing them, that could be a different story.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Anyway, all right, Ducks. Well, I don't know if the Ducks moved up a spot as much as A&M fell because it lost to Texas. That allowed the Ducks to tick up a spot, of course. But beating Washington clearly was a good thing for Oregon. Now, the question is, can they get into the top 4? The best path probably would be Texas Tech losing to BYU, which I don't see happening. The next one would be Georgia losing to Alabama in the SEC championship game, which I kind of believe that even if Georgia loses that game, if it's a close loss, I still think Georgia stays ahead of Oregon because I don't think you should penalize Georgia for having to play Alabama while Oregon's sitting at home. I don't think that's fair. Also, if Alabama wins that game, could Alabama jump all the way up into the top 4? If Texas Tech loses, they're not going to
jump them in front of.
If Texas Tech loses as well,
they're not going to jump them in front of
Oklahoma.
No.
You're the SEC champs. The championship should mean something if you're the champs. Winning the championship should trump the head-to-head loss to Oklahoma, especially if you beat Georgia twice. Anyway, there's a million ways to argue that. It's one of the reasons why I don't like the entire process because everyone has a story. Everyone has an argument they can make. But anyway, what do you think is more likely that could happen?
Yeah, I think that there's a path to Oregon at 4, but nobody wants that path. Kirby Smart would rather play a home game to start the season, to start the playoff, and then play 11 days later against a team that either hasn't played in 32 days or 25 days. All 4 teams that had byes started slow and lost last year. Oregon, Georgia.
Okay, but wait. But 3 of the 4 were the lesser team on the field, and the 4th team, Georgia, was without its quarterback. So you got to add that into the factor. So it wasn't. No.
I'm saying that they started slow. See, here's the thing. They started slow. Arizona State was a missed referee call away from beating from beating Texas. They started out extremely slow, though. I'm talking about the slow starts to all four teams. Like the way Oregon played after halftime. Granted, the game was out of actually like right even prior to halftime. Like Ohio State had a huge advantage playing against Tennessee 11 days prior, because I know that Oregon was practicing extremely hard. Like even if you say that Ohio State was a better team or whatever because they won the championship, like I'm fine. But they weren't 31-0 to start the game better, is my point.
34.
What? Okay, exactly. Even that's what I'm saying. Even if they were going to win the football game, I'm saying that the slow start contributed to a 34-0 start like that. And so that's why coaches don't even want the buys. That's why I believe that the buys, if you want to make the buys mean something, those games you should then get the benefit of playing on your home campus.
Right.
If you get the buy.
Earlier in the process too. Save the Final Four for January 1. Save the Final Four for January 1.
Yes.
All right, let's say they stay at 5 or even move to 6. One of the reasons that's attractive is because they're going to play either Group of 5 or the ACC champion, which Group of 5 team is going to be a 3-touchdown underdog. The ACC champion is probably going to be a 14 to 17 point underdog. So it's a game where you're not really facing a threat of elimination. And so, yeah, you can make the argument that playing that game is better than sitting for 30 days like last year. I totally agree with you. But who do you think?
Well, it would be 32 this time, which would be even worse. So I got a question for you.
No, I agree with you. Go ahead.
So I got a question for you. So if Oregon, here's the irony of this situation, is that you have 3 Group of 5 teams ranked, 2 of them in the same conference, Tulane in North Texas, who's number 20 and 24, who play each other in the American Championship, okay? You have James Madison, who's ranked number 25, who's in the Sun Belt. And then you have Duke, who is unranked at 7-5, playing number 17 Virginia, or number 18, 17 or 18 Virginia. Okay. If Duke beats Virginia, the ACC, do you believe, Aaron, that the ACC then gets left out of the playoff? And this matters to who Oregon plays if they stay at the 5 seed, okay?
You think I thought they couldn't leave the ACC championship.
No, they can't. They can't if Virginia wins. Duke is unranked. So do you think that the committee, because
too many rules, I don't understand them all. This is why I like the NFL.
This is where I'm explaining them to you. So if
they change every year. Go ahead.
This one, well, yes. This one did change for this year. It's the 5 highest ranked conference champions.
Okay.
So the Big 12, Big 10, and SEC, there's not even a talking point for them. This is strictly about the ACC because both of their team, because they only have one team ranked who's playing in the conference championship, because Miami is not playing in the conference championship, even though that they are the highest ranked ACC team. Okay?
It's also mind-boggling dumb.
Yeah, but we've had that happen in other conferences too.
No, I know. I'm just saying. It's
like last
crazy.
year, Ohio State was ranked higher than Penn State, but they weren't in the conference championship. So the issue is this, okay? And let me know what you think, because if Tulane beats North Texas, Tulane is 20. There's no way that even if Duke beats Virginia, who's 18, either 17 or 18, that they're going to jump them in front of Duke, okay? I'm sorry, that they're going to jump them in front of Tulane, who's number 20, okay?
Right.
But let's say that Tulane wins and then James Madison wins their game, their conference championship game against an unranked team. Do you believe that the committee would then, if Duke wins, jump them above number 25 James Madison? Or do you, that way the ACC
absolutely. Who's James Madison played?
They're playing 8-4.
No, who have they played this season? James Madison, Dukes.
So they played.
Look at their
so
schedule.
they're playing Troy. So they lost to Louisville
Lost
by
to
14.
Louisville. Right.
They beat Liberty, Louisiana Monroe, Old Dominion, Washington State.
They beat nobody. They shouldn't be ranked.
So do you believe that the committee would jump Duke in front of them if Duke wins?
I have no idea.
So this is why it matters if Oregon stays at the 5 seed. If Oregon stays at the 5 seed, then they're either going to play the winner of the Tulane North Texas game if Virginia wins, okay? If Virginia loses the ACC championship, then you're going to have Oregon either play James Madison or Duke.
Even if Tulane wins?
Yes, because Tulane would then be the 4th highest conference champion.
So they're already in. Okay. Yeah, because Tulane beat Duke. Yeah.
So then Tulane would then be the 11th seed and play the 6th seed.
Gotcha.
So Oregon could end up playing the ACC champion if it's Duke in Eugene.
Right. Okay.
Which is with a quarterback who's thrown like 30-some touchdowns and 3 picks all season. But they would be 8-5.
Wait, they're 28 touchdowns, 4 picks for Duke. For Duke's quarterback. So yeah, pretty much what you said. They lost to UConn. They lost to Virginia already by 17. Lost by 9 to Georgia Tech. Lost to Tulane. Got smoked by Illinois. Yeah, Ducks by 3 touchdowns. Regardless, I'm not. Let's put it this way. I would rather at this point. See, I was excited about Miami coming to Autzen. That would have been amazing, or Bama or something like that.
Well, that's not happening.
I know if it's going to be the best case scenario as far as competitiveness means Virginia, then me as a reporter, I'd much
Oregon
rather.
Oregon can't play Virginia. Oregon playing Virginia is out of the question.
So best is Tulane then, right?
Either Tulane or Duke.
Or Duke, right? If that's the best case scenario, I personally would rather not have to cover that game because it's going to be a waste of time.
So they're either going to play. Yeah, so Oregon has 4. So if Oregon does not get a bye, if they stay at 5, they got 4 options: Tulane, North Texas, James Madison, or Duke.
Sorry.
Aren't you glad you have me here to explain this to you?
I am, because never mind. I see people put out like brackets all the time, like what could happen, and some of them clearly are wrong. Anyway, all right.
Sometimes I'll be looking at them like, how did you come up with this? You can't do this.
Yeah. So we both agree. I think the layoff can be that thing can be overblown a little bit, but whatever. I don't want to debate that anymore. But we both agree that it's probably best for Oregon to get that tune-up game, a game they know they're going to win, to be fresher for the second round. Me personally, I hope they get the bye because I don't want to cover that first round game anymore.
No. Well, actually, you just said, you know what? I'm letting go. I'm releasing.
No to what? What are you saying no to?
Because you want them to have a bye. I don't want them to be
that's
off
for me personally.
Days.
No, I said for me personally. I said for the team, I agree with you. That the team should want to play that game because it's a tune-up and it's a game they're going to win. So you stay fresher. I agree with you 100%. Okay. I think it's a little overblown, but I agree with you. If it's 55-45, I agree with you. But for me personally, and I think fans will get into it because it's a home playoff game regardless. Right? It'll be fun to go watch them smack someone in the playoffs. But it's just not interesting. And I'm disappointed because I was hoping to see them play a real team. And I think this whole group of 6.
Those are real teams, Aaron.
Requirement.
You will not.
A real contending team. A true, not number 20. If you're number 20, I don't want to see you in the playoffs. I just don't. If you're not even ranked, I don't want to see you in the playoffs. Or 17, I don't want to see you. I barely want to see 11 and 12 in there. But 11 and 12 could be Miami, could be Texas. Bring Miami or Texas to Eugene. That's what I want to see. But once again, the playoff committee, no matter what the system is, they have to find a way to jack it up and make it just not as good as it could be. And so we might get Tulane at Oregon instead of Texas at Oregon, or Miami at Oregon, or Vanderbilt at Oregon.
Texas has no business being in the playoff.
They do over Tulane and Duke.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. They'd smash both of them on the same day. They could play them the same day and beat them both.
Wow, that is disrespectful.
Yes, it's a fact. They play them the same day and beat them both. They play them, take a 2-hour rest, come back, play them at noon, 2-hour rest, come back at 7 p.m., play them again, play the other one and beat them both. 100%.
Wow.
All right. Let's move on. Oregon's recruiting class is stizacked. It's not just stacked. I got to add the Z in there because it's stacked. Ranked second in the country, right? Now, one thing I like about it is that it's not super loaded with 4 stars. I'm saying I don't like that, but because the recruiting classes have been so stacked the last couple of years, to me, if you're being choosy, you're not just going to come out of a class with 20, 4 stars and 3 stars just to do it. You're going to come out with the guys you really want and not just sign dudes to sign dudes. And so I feel like this class is quality over quantity. And part of that is because they had 12 4 stars. But in previous years, they had in the high teens or 20, I think, one year, a couple of years ago. So if those guys are good still on your roster, overdoing it probably isn't worth it. Plus, you're going to work the portal. So you want to keep scholarships available for that as well and opportunities. But I like the class with 4 5-star kids, and they still might flip Chris Henry as of this recording, wide receiver who was committed to Ohio State, I believe. So that would add to it and maybe bump them to number 1. Now, USC is number 1, and USC fans are running around bragging about it. They're number 1.
Number 1 class in the country.
And it's a good class. You got 21 4 stars. You can't sneeze at that. They got 1 5-star.
Yep.
That's a good class. But they got 35 total kids. And I know the 3-star kids don't count as much toward the overall thing, but it brings down your average. Oregon has a better average, 93 to 91, I think. But 35 kids for USC. I mocked them a little bit on Twitter about it. And a lot of people responded. And USC fans, of course, were coming at me. And Duck fans love to see me attacking USC. But I just think that's overkill. But before we get to USC, let's talk about Oregon's class. What do you like about it the most?
Oh, man. I like the quality of the class because they're obviously still a young team on some levels because they're getting a lot of young contribution. But they're getting good in the trenches. So they got the Nacho kid, the 5-star lineman, Jet Washington, Kobe's nephew. He is a tremendous looking player. And they're bringing in
6'5" safety. That's insane.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's like Kingston Lopa. And Anthony Jones is a game wrecker at defensive end. Game wrecker.
Is he Kayvon? Is he Kayvon 2.0? Or is he Deion Jordan?
No.
Slightly below Kayvon.
No. He is. He could be Kayvon. Yeah.
He can be Kayvon. So he's his floor is Deion Jordan then.
Yes. Okay. He's a thicker athlete than. Yes. Yeah. This kid has potential 1st-round pick written all over him.
Okay. 6'3", 240.
Kendra Harrison, the tight end. I got a chance to talk to him some, spend some time with him and his mama at the Ohio State game last year. Yes, he is a tight end problem. He is like a hooper in a tight end body. He's a he's a hooper on a tight end body. The running back Ball out of Texas, he's a good player. I've had a chance to see some tape on him. The Devon Benjamin, I was at their game. I've had a chance to see him play for 2 years. He didn't play when Sierra Canyon played Oaks Christian this year, so I didn't get a chance to see him play in that game. But he is a dynamic athlete. He can play wide receiver or corner, but he'll probably go to Oregon and play corner. And then the one person that is not in this class that people have forgotten about they're getting another 5-star kid that is in this class technically, even though he signed 2 years ago, in Gatlin Bear. This is another Idaho kid. White kid, wide receiver. So he was part of their 2024 class. But he's Mormon, so he went on a mission. No, sorry. He might have been a part of the 25 class. No. He was not part of the 25 class. It was a 24 class. And they got him. That was obviously a big deal. And so now we got another Idaho freak show coming in Gatlin Bear. Now that he'll be off of his mission. So it is going to be a very, very stacked and very competitive. And what Oregon is trying to do is turn their wide receiver room into what Ohio State has been able to do. Put out first round pick after first round pick after first round pick.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a shift. Who was Oregon's last first round pick at wide receiver? I've written about this. Was it Ahmad Rashad?
Probably.
Patrick Johnson was second round. Huff was third. Demetrius Williams was fourth. Franklin was just fourth, right? Was Franklin fourth? Was Franklin fourth round? And he's one of the greatest in program history. He was either fourth or fifth round. He was either fourth or fifth round. But he's turning out to be a good NFL player, though. Yeah, he's definitely good. But yeah, back in the day when I was covering him, that was one thing I always say is that Oregon has good receivers. Their quarterbacks do well with the receivers they have, but they don't have those just Julio Jones, Jamar Chase type guys who were, like you said, first round picks, just absolute game breakers who just change so much for your offense. The fact that Mariota won the Heisman with not one NFL receiver
is incredible.
Devin Allen played a little bit. But I mean, Byron Marshall played in the NFL a little bit, but he was running back and they made him to a receiver was ridiculous. All right. Anything else about recruiting? Are we good? No. It's just exciting times. Good stuff. Like with recruiting like this, you give yourself a chance. That's what it comes down to. Like you give yourself a shot. Right. Definitely. Okay. Real quick on USC. I do notice that some programs will do 28 or 30, and it depends on how many scholarships you have left. I get it. And if you go 20 one year, you might go 30 another year. But 35 just seems gratuitous. 6 wide receivers. What are you going to do with 6 freshman wide receivers? And they were still trying to flip. They were trying to get Chris Henry too. So, but here's the thing: if I'm one of the 6 wide receivers, am I not looking around going, "Wait a minute, what are we doing here? We can't all start." Yes. So I jokingly set the over-under on the kids who transfer and never really play much at USC at 16.5. And I might go over on that because they're going to, they signed a bunch of guys last year and they have, I assume, good talent on your team. So if you have good talent, you add 35 more kids to it. Well, something has to give because you can only start 22. So exactly. 35 in one class and with 13 3-star kids. Really? So you got 22 4-star, 1 5-star, and then you throw 13 threes. Now, I'm all for developing guys, and maybe you got some diamonds in the rough there, but if you're signing 20-something 4 and 5 stars, how many of those 3 stars are really going to end up being that good? And if I'm them, what am I thinking? Like, you're better off going to be the guy at Oregon State. Dude. And then maybe elevating up, right? I know personally, 5 kids who are signing with them. Okay. 4 of them I talk to. 3 of them I see on a very regular basis, like very regular, like at least once, twice a week. And then one of them I'm very close to as well. Okay. I have talked to them. I'm like, what is going on? Why so many? They're like, well, we're building something. This is going to be the year. This has been like this is going to be our time and everything else. And the 2026 class is going to be the one that starts everything out and gets everything going. And I'm like, it could be. But how many of these kids do you think are going to contribute next year? Well, if your class, if your previous classes were any good, hardly any.
Yes. So, and then they're talking about that they're going to be a big portal class this year too, because they got to get better play. I'm like,
Lanning did that one year though. Lanning did that one year though. Then he had like 45 new players when he was kind of weeding out some of Mario's guys. But
that was his first year there. This is going to be his fifth. They're going to be going into his fifth season.
Right.
So,
he's playing catch up.
You're going to create a situation where now you're going to push kids out that you recruited already, and then bring portal players in. And if you bring in juniors and stuff, now that stacks up your recruiting class. It just creates a revolving door. Right. Like, remember when the portal first started and people were like, the portal is going to be the way to do things. And it's not. It is a supplement for big time programs. Like, you can do it at the G5, G6 level, but you have to be able to develop linemen in particular. Offensive and defensive linemen have to be built in-house. And then,
but Oregon has how many transfer starting linemen? 4, right?
At 3.
It's 4.
World, Harkey, and World, Harkey, and Pregnon.
Okay.
Yeah. Poncho has started. Iuli has started. They've started different people at the other guard spot.
I thought there was another one, but okay. Well, that's still 3. That's still 60% of your starting lineup. But still, yes, ideally, you want to have guys you're developing. And we saw how important that was when guys got hurt against USC.
That's the point I'm making. Is that's the one spot where Oregon has to even do a like because the premium linemen are going to want to start immediately. So, and have an opportunity to, like, if you get somebody that's like, that was why Kingston Sagapoo, the kid that transferred out went to BYU. Oregon had a good tackle situation. He's BYU starting tackle right now. He would be starting at Oregon, and you wouldn't have needed to go get Harkey.
Right.
Or World, one of the two, depending on which side he was starting on. But he transferred out because he wanted to be a starter as a freshman. And he had been hurt in the preseason and stuff. And then he got a chance to play some when he came back. His dad wanted him to be a starter. He was like, no. So he was like, I'm out.
I hear you. Well, look, power to USC, good for them if they like all these guys, but I'm not going to take them seriously until their defense is like legit. Get back to having a legit defense. 6 wide receivers. I mean, I don't know, whatever. All right. Last topic. Heisman vote. This is your first year, right?
Yes.
This is your first year. I'm so excited for you.
Newbie.
So excited for you.
Dude, I've spent more time thinking about this than I thought I would.
Did you? This is the least amount of time I've spent thinking about it because no one's that sexy.
That's why I feel like I've spent more time thinking about it. Like, I have gone
so boring
this way. Like, I have taken so many turns on my Heisman ballot. I took a major one yesterday and then came back to that guy today.
All right.
It's crazy. I wish we got to vote for 5 people instead of 3.
All right. So here's my thing. I can't stand the idea that quarterbacks automatically have to go to the top of the list. It drives me nuts. And as I've demonstrated numerous times with, trying to be objective, like, I'm a Miami Hurricane fan. I think Miami fans have been crying about the playoffs. Don't lose to SMU. I'm still so pissed they lost that game. I was so mad when they lost that. So, I don't want to hear it. But another Miami example, Gino Torretta won the Heisman in 1992. Yes. Miami fan, I was like, okay, this is dumb. Not only is he not the best player in the country, he wasn't the best player on the Hurricanes. He won it over Garrison Hurst and Marshall Faulk. Why? Because he was the quarterback at Miami. He threw 19 touchdowns with 7 interceptions. 19. Now, granted, this was the early 90s where teams got throw 30 and 40, right? But still, and you could tell he wasn't that great. Like, he was good. I think it was a 5th or 6th round pick. Barely played in the NFL. Whereas Garrison Hurst, I think, was a 3rd pick, and Marshall Faulk was the 1st pick. Faulk's in the Hall of Fame, and Garrison Hurst had a great career until injuries hurt him. Those two are clearly the best players in the country. So it drove me nuts. So I'm looking at this year's team, this year's list. Julian Sayin right now is the leader in the clubhouse in terms of the betting odds. Okay. 30 touchdowns, 30 touchdowns, that's pedestrian. Great. Look, 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's a good, don't get me wrong, but that doesn't impress me. Here's what impresses me. Listen to this. This is how you impress me at quarterback when you're Jaden Daniels.
Oh, don't do that.
3,800 yards and 3,800 yards, 40 touchdowns, and he rushed for 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. That's undeniable. Joe Burrow, 60 touchdowns. I would not
have voted for him that season because a lot of those stats came against.
That's not the point. That's not the point. Okay. That's not the point. Bo Nix's numbers that year, insane. Right?
Yeah.
Burrow, 5,600 yards, 60 touchdown passes. Marcus.
Penix's numbers were crazy too.
Yeah. Marcus, 44. I'm going with the winners though. 42 touchdown passes, only 4 picks. And the 4th pick came last play for Oregon in the championship game. He just kind of threw it up for grabs. And he rushed for 770 and 15 touchdowns. But I'm supposed to look at these quarterbacks and go, oh my God, these are the Heisman front runners. And even Gunnar Stockton's on there. His numbers are pedestrian. What's his face? Fernando Mendoza. I'm supposed to be impressed by 2,700 yards. Again, 32 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I'm not impressed by any of them. So for me, my impulse on this, and this is why you have so many people voting because you have different sensibilities. My impulse is to go with the Notre Dame kid, Jeremiah Love. Yeah. Why? Now, he doesn't have tremendous yards. Hold on, he has 1,620 yards, but he has 20 touchdowns. That means he has gone into the end zone 20 times as opposed to someone throwing at 30, which in today's day and age, meh. Anyway.
Well, and he's got receiving yards too. He's good out of the backfield too. So, yeah, he's probably close to 2,000 total yards, right?
I think he's 1,600 total with receiving.
Okay.
Hold on.
So,
I have him up here, but go ahead.
So here's my thing. I like the Jeremiah Love case. I like the Jeremiah Smith case because he's been like a force, right?
The only thing with him is he's not even at 1,000 yards yet, which kind of
So he won't win because of that,
right?
But I mean, unless he goes crazy in the championship game. But my other issue, another player that people have talked about, Julian Sayin, his numbers went down when Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith were out, and he's also playing with a defense that's only giving up 7.6 points per game. Right. He's never been threatened. Like we don't even like I believe that there are 15 other quarterbacks in the country that would have Ohio State 12-0 right now.
Exactly.
So that's my issue there is I'm like, yes, he's playing well. Like there's no deniability that he is playing good football, but he's not doing anything that 15 other dudes wouldn't have the team with the same record. They wouldn't, not all of them would have the same stats, obviously. But when you have a defense that's only giving up 7.8 points per game, it creates a lot of freedom and less pressure.
And less pressure, exactly. There's no pressure on you to go out and be special.
Then, look, this kid is obnoxious. Diego Pavia is 100% obnoxious. Right. However, if I voted for him, it would feel like a Ron Dane Lifetime Achievement Award, where you got to give the kid credit for his audacity and his irrational belief that him and Clark Lee could will Vanderbilt to being a good football team. They are 10-2. He has had some games where they're okay, but he's had some phenomenal stat line games too. Like he's the heartbeat of that team. Like that's the thing in a year like this that I feel like I might be able to hold on to and be like, oh, this dude is like he stood on business and he backed it up without a top 10 recruiting class, without a top 20 recruiting class, without a top 30 recruiting class. And his audacity and his leadership like got them to believe irrationally that they could do this. And he almost got them to the college football playoff. Like it is, that resonates with me a lot right now. I'm not sure if that's who I'm voting for, but it resonates. Like he's in my top 10 for sure.
I hear you, man. It'll be interesting. I mean, if someone floors me, championship weekend, we'll see. But right now, it's almost a protest vote, like the vote for Love, because it drives me bananas. It's the default. Who's the quarterback for the best team? Are his stats decent? Boom, he's a Heisman candidate. That's how it works. Yeah. And I'm not saying he's not good, but he's not doing anything all that special. Like I said, Rush, you getting into the end zone yourself 20 times or 21 for Love is more impressive than throwing it 30 times, I believe. But anyway, we'll see. We'll talk about this more next week when we cast our votes. All right. Is that it? That was a lot. Whew. We did a lot for a no game, huh?
Yes.
All right. Thanks for listening to the Ducks Confidential podcast. We'll be back next week to talk about the playoff field and our Heisman votes. Catch you then.